Live better with less in your life. Our next guest says it's possible.
Well, writer Jen Baxter is here to talk about the emotional and spiritual benefits of downsizing. Sounds good, my goodness.
Hi, Jen. How are you this morning?
Great. How are you guys?
Great, thank you. I love this topic. I'm totally intrigued by what you're going to share with us. First off, what is downsizing? How do you define that?
Well, downsizing pretty much is just getting rid of the excess in your life. So really just, narrowing down to what's important, what you actually use, what you actually enjoy on a daily basis.
Well, see, this is tried and true because you've done this several years ago, right?
Yes.
So what was your experience?
So mine was pretty extreme. I actually downsized to 160 square feet.
You heard her right, 160 square feet, like
so,
extreme downsizing.
Like the size of some people's closets or bathrooms, but I was in a tiny house on wheels, so I did like a really extreme version. But downsizing could be just, anything that is moving to a smaller space than what you're currently in.
Right.
Wow.
Well, what did you learn, before we go on, what did you learn from that experience?
I think I learned that I could live with a lot less than I thought that I needed around me. And I've never once, even after doing that major downsize, I've never missed any of the stuff that I got rid of, which makes me think well, why was I holding on to all that stuff for so long? Because I don't miss any of it.
Mm-hmm. As something else you say you learned, that you sort of let go of the person you used to be.
Yes. So that was something that was actually kind of surprising to me. But a lot of times we hold on to clutter because it represents somebody that we used to be. So it could be, a hobby that we used to do or clothes that we used to wear, a certain style. But we're just holding on to this past image instead of being okay with who we are now. Mm-hmm. So you kind of give yourself permission to be who you are now because you finally let go of those old things that you were holding on to.
Mm-hmm. Because sometimes those are physical reminders, and you can't let go of it because you're, that thing is facing you right there every day.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of the problem also is the person that you think you should be that you need to let go of.
So that could sometimes be something that was almost even forced on you by other people. Maybe your family members did a certain, they were jewelry makers or something for an occupation, and they sort of forced that on you, like, we want you to keep in the family business, but you have absolutely no desire to do that whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But you feel guilty, so you're just holding this stuff there, and keeping it is not going to magically make you suddenly become that person. Mm-hmm. So again, it's about giving yourself permission and saying, you know what, it's okay that I'm not going to be this person that they thought I should be. I'm going to be who I actually am.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that you learned, you say you make commitments to yourself. What do you mean by that?
So with that, I mean, for me personally, I got rid of a bunch of clothes that were for a business attire job. And I knew I didn't want that kind of job. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to work from home. So I had moved these clothes around for years. And when I finally downsized, I was making that commitment to myself that I'm not going to work that job. I'm going to do the job that I want to do. Mm-hmm. So it could be, holding on to clothes that are in a bigger size because you're afraid, well, what if I might gain weight and I need those clothes again? Well, it's making a commitment to yourself that, no, I'm going to commit to living a healthy lifestyle so that I never need those clothes again. Mm-hmm. So you kind of are making these decisions and really making that a reality by getting rid of those items.
Mm-hmm. It seems so much freedom. This just seems to be a big emotional release for you. Was that the case?
Yes, and that was the part that was surprising to me because I knew I was getting rid of physical stuff, but I didn't realize how much it was going to help with the emotional. So especially if you're downsizing sentimental items, things that have memories attached to them, it really sort of forces you to do that emotional work. So, my mother had passed away, I had a lot of her items, and really just getting rid of the physical items forced me to really face that grief and let myself feel it and process through it.
Mm-hmm. You say you really, too, gain a whole new perspective on life. Talk about that.
So, kind of like what I said in the beginning, once you see how much you don't need to get by on a daily basis, it really kind of changes your perspective moving forward. So then even when you're out shopping, you don't feel as compelled to buy things because you see where you just came from and you just downsized and got rid of all that stuff and you don't want to end up back there again. Mm-hmm. So it really kind of just changes how you look at life and you become more interested in things that you can do as opposed to things that you can have. Experiences, spending time with family and friends, being outside of your house as opposed to just gathering stuff in your house.
I know that downsizing is becoming a bigger thing. More and more people are embracing that. But I still think that there's it still is kind of goes against culture because everybody is doing more and buying more and consuming more and buying bigger houses, bigger everything, right?
Because that's what we're told. I mean, every day, commercials and magazines and TV, everything tells us consume, 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 buy, buy, buy. So you kind of actually end up sort of going against the grain and sort of breaking out of that mold, because you realize, well, I don't have to do that. Like, you feel like you do, but then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I don't have to do that.
And when your stuff doesn't own you, you have more margin with your time, with your money, when you're not overspending, correct?
Everything, your emotions, your finances, your time, your energy, it's all freed up because you're really not tied down to these things anymore.
Good stuff, Jen Baxter. Thank you so much. Read Jen's blog. It's liveafastlife.com. liveafastlife.com. And if people go there, will they find a blog that you wrote about this very topic?
Yes.
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 Okay. Go there and read it to hear more from Jen. Thank you very much for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.